Alright, so just as the title says, we're going to break down the mark of the beast. We're going to start it off plainly and simple. Before I start it off, I'm going to say this. Everything you speak has to be even. When I say it has to be even, you have to be able to walk here and here to make an even parable and get the understanding thereof. So, I'm going to start it off with Daniel 3:1. And this is going to give y'all some understanding. And I'm going to also give the actual verse in which you can find information. So, Daniel chapter 3. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Now, based off that, you have to get a lot of stuff from one verse. Now, he just told you the size or the actual width or the description of the image. Now, that image is, or the description of it, 80 cubits and a 6. That's 666. It's a span. That's the actual mark of the beast. All right. In order for me to tie into that, I'm going to give you the parable or the actual understanding of it. We're going to go all the way to the Revelations 13:18. Now, I wrote these notes down already, but you can easily obtain it just by going in your book. And if you can't understand it, I say, pray to God that He might give you the understanding thereof. So we're going to go to 13:18. Now 13:18 it says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. The image was as a man, and his number is 666." Now hence you get the mark. There's another thing in which by seeing this you can understand that it was the way he thought. And the way he thought is the way that the people would think. For as a king, so is his subjects. As a king, so is his kingdom. But there's another parable in the Bible that says that the king listens to lies. What is he likened unto? A person that can't be trusted. For if he listens to lies, he'll be led by lies. So that just gave you the understanding of it. Now I'm going to explain some more. The beast had 4 different stages. You can go back to Daniel 3:1. You can get the understanding of it. I'm not going to try to go too far into it because I want y'all to actually look for it yourself, but it's easily obtainable. So we're going to go to Daniel 3:1 again. So you're walking. This is even steps. Give me 1 sec. Now, after that he already set this up, he desired or he stated that anybody who doesn't fall down to the playing of the music shall be thrown in fire. Now, this is a furnace. Now, the Lord said something. He said, honorable men are tried in the furnace of adversity. Then you can also get another parable with, it might have been Peter or James, but they stated that the trying of thy faith, which is worth more than gold. So when you put something in the furnace, it tries it. You can put gold in the furnace, put men in the furnace for adversity, test their faith, see if it's worth more than gold. So you already know Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Daniel were thrown into the furnace, but the fire had no power over them, and the smell of the fire was not even on them when they came out of it for their faith. Hence you can go to 3:19. Then he also believed. Now, the definition on what Daniel was speaking of in 3:1, he goes to speak of it with the interpretation of his image. Chapter 6. Well, no, I apologize. Chapter 7. Now he states, in the first year Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and a vision of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Now he expressed that in chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7, there were four kingdoms which were set over Israel. One was I have an older book but it says the world empire. It says the one was Media and Persia. The second was Greece. Hence you get the Greeks, Alexander the Great. Then it goes to the Roman Empire. All right, that goes to chapter 7. But you got to also get the first empire, which was Nebuchadnezzar. So the last one was going to be the Roman Empire. So that Roman Empire is categorized or based off. Wow, let me try to get not too not far into it. But he says the bottom of it, the feet, are going to be mixed with clay, and it's also going to be mixed with iron. So that iron and that clay can be categorized as two separate nations. For it's just like this eye, which people like to call black or of African descent. Well, black is not anything, but we are on one landmass trying to conform to be one nation, in which nations are supposed to be separate. Now, this is not because anybody else's, or, well, I can say it is somebody else's, but it's all in God's plan. So ultimately, what I'm saying is the image and the actual mark of it is the actual thought process of the man. For in Daniel, he changed his heart to a heart of an actual beast. His nails was growing out his hands. The man had beast tendencies. All right, he did this in order to show the hand of God. Now the stone hit the man's feet, in which that was Christ. A tried stone, smooth stone, a chief cornerstone, the stone that was rejected, took the stone and beat it with it. So I'm going to give you one more thing. Well, I'm going to give you two more things, and I'm possibly going to speak about it in another video. Proverbs 26:7 and 1 Samuel 5:2. We're going to take a journey backwards. This is how you walk, by having people that are with you. So he says, if there's two, I'm in the midst, and also with three. Now, this 2 and 3 is also speaking of the book. If one person speaks one thing in a book, he speaks again in another book. It said it in Job. God speaketh once, yea, twice, but man perceiveth it not. Proverbs 26:7, we're going to jump into it. Give me a sec. Man, I'm on 7 minutes, man. I didn't thought it was going to be that long. Alright, 26:7. It says, the legs of the lame are not equal, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. So, when you speak, that's what he's basically stating. Your feet have to be even. It can't be 6 inches, 12 inches. It got to be 12 on 12, or 10 on 10, or 5 on 5, or 10 toes strong. Hence why you get that parable. That 10 toes strong is a parable to say your feet are even. Alright, and I'm going to give you 1 Samuel 5:2, which is to tie into Daniel and Revelation to the mark of the beast. Now, Samuel was a prophet. Now, from there, you can also look at this. I just went from Daniel to Revelations, which was spoken by John. Then I went to Proverbs, which was spoken by Solomon. Then I went to Samuel, which was spoken by Samuel, the prophet. Alright? So 1 Samuel 5:2. And this one is kind of on my own understanding, but if it sounds correct, or if, well, I'll have to go find another parable into it, but 1 Samuel 5:2. Now, when the ark, this is way before when they was actually didn't have no kings, and the prophets or the Levites were governing the actual state of Israel. Now, Samuel was a judge, a prophet that was judging. Very strong man, and then many people feared him. So we'll go to 5:2. And the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it into Ebenezer unto Ashdod. And when the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. Now, there's another book in which is not actually in this KJV. It is Bel and the Dragon. This is Daniel 4:15. This is my own understanding. Now, Dagon is to me a dragon. Now you can go to Daniel and Revelations. You also get the image of the dragon. Hence, the dragon gave his power to the man, false prophet. Henceforth. I'm not going to expound upon it too much. I'm not going to try to flood you with stuff you might not understand. But If you would like to understand it, just seek it. But he went down and they took the ark into their place. Now, their gods, in which they believed to be gods, were false gods. For they brought an ark into their own camp, in which they stole from another camp after the slaughter or the beatdown against Israel. Now, the thing is, throughout all of that, they didn't even understand that their gods were fake, for their images were broken down. Another parable, it says, as is the man who builds the actual image. He has no breath in him. He has no light in him. He has nothing in him. For he is likened unto the image, who actually gave praise to it. But there is other things which is actually tie into it as well. I think it was actually Paul who stated, there are trees, gold, many things which are actually in the building. So I'm saying, maybe I can get that later. But yeah. So all in all, the mark of the beast is actually the way you think, but it's also the four kingdoms which are over Israel. All right. So that 666 is what you have to look for. You have to understand how this man talks. This actual book is a book of dark sayings, which is parables. So if you get the understanding, man, subscribe to me. You get some wisdom. Glory be, for as it always is, glory be to the Most High, for He giveth wisdom and understanding. Pray help y'all out. Yeah. I'll try to make another video. Well, whatever He give me, I'm trying to put forth or bring forth. Glory be, and